Right friends, welcome back to News at a Glance. This is 47th week from 16th to 22nd November. Look at the first one. First, Arab India Economic Forum Summit was launched in Dubai by the Union Finance Minister. Wholesale price index based inflation stood at minus 3.81% in October 2015. And please don't forget, the wholesale price index based inflation is in the negative territory since November 2014. For consecutive 12 months, this wholesale price index is in negative territory, and at the same time, the consumer price index based inflation is around plus 5%. And there is lot of divergence between wholesale price index based inflation and consumer price index based inflation, and the reasons behind it we will discuss sometime later in news analysis program. Look at the next one. Exports have fallen for 11th month in a row. Here also exports are in negative territory for 11th consecutive month since December 2014. All is not well on the export front, and in the month of October 2015 exports have fallen by 17.53%. and this is the 11th month consecutive fall. So export front is not satisfactory, and so as to give stimulus to exports, Government of India recently gave interest equalization scheme of 3%, and previously it was known as interest subvention scheme. Now to promote exports, government came up with interest equalization scheme of 3%. Russia says that a bomb brought down Airbus A321 over Sinai Peninsula. All of you are well aware, recently A321 was crashed in Sinai Peninsula of Egypt, and Russia finally says that a bomb brought down Airbus A321. And multifaceted actor Syed Jaffrey, who is not only familiar with Hindi films but also familiar with international movies, passed away recently at the age of 86, and his films include Satranj Ke Khiladi, Masoom, Kisi Se Na Kehna, Ram Teri Ganga Maili, Ram Lakhan, Azuba, and his international films include Gandhi, My Beautiful Laundrette, and other films. Right, look into the next one. A grand memorial for Shiv Sena founder Bal Thackeray will come up at the Mayor's Bungalow in Shivaji Park area of Mumbai. Former Director of Research and Analysis Wing, popularly known as RAW, R-A-W, and the chief mover behind the 1971 Bangladesh War, K. Sankaran Nair, died at the age of 94 in Bengaluru. VHP leader Ashok Singhal, the man behind Ram Janmabhoomi movement, died at the age of 89. Intel India announced launch of a rural digitisation initiative, Ek Kadam Unnat Ki Aur. This is primarily to create a blueprint for digitization of rural India. Look into the next one. West Bengal Transport Minister Madan Mitra accused in Sharda chit fund scam. All of you are well aware about the Sharda chit fund scam. This is the famous scam of West Bengal, and several politicians are allegedly involved in this scam, and Madan Mitra resigned in view of the allegations that he was involved in Sharda chit fund scam. ULFA leader Anup Chetia, another name is the Golap Baruah. He was recently handed over by Bangladesh to India, and he spent 18 years in jail in Bangladesh. Paris attack mastermind Abdel Hamid Abad was killed in the suburb of Paris when the police raided suburb areas with a view to catch hold of suspected militants. The state of emergency was extended for another 3 months in France in view of the attacks in Paris, which killed more than 129 people. In view of the 40% vacancies in high courts, the Supreme Court decided to bring back the collegium system. I need not explain what is collegium system. I explained several times. Central government brought NJAC, but the Supreme Court said NJAC as unconstitutional. Under these circumstances, the collegium system is back now. In fact, collegium system is back when the Chief Justice was recommended recently. And Antibiotic Awareness Week was observed from 16th November to 22nd November. The irony is resistance to antibiotic is increasing day by day, and some of the antibiotics are not able to solve human problems nowadays. That is going to be the big challenge for the medical fraternity. More than 17,000 employees of Reserve Bank of India took mass casual leave on 19th November against the government's reform measures and seeking better retirement benefits. Other interesting point is this public debt at present managed by Reserve Bank of India. Government of India is planning to take it out from Reserve Bank of India. That is another reason why 17,000 employees of Reserve Bank of India resorted to one-day mass casual leave. RTI Act, that is the Right to Information Act, one of the most powerful acts brought by Government of India, completed 10 years of its existence. At least 50 lakh applications are being received every year. This Right to Information Act was brought in the year 2005, and definitely it brought revolutionary change in the transparency of the administration, because they are bound to give information when somebody is asking information by paying just ₹10. Rural Inclusive Growth Project, basically to eliminate rural poverty, was launched recently. 75% of the expenditure will be borne by World Bank, and the total cost of the project is ₹660 crore, and it was launched in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Bangladesh recently hanged 2 leaders for 1971 war crimes. Bangladesh got independence in 1971. Previously, it was part of Pakistan. It was East Pakistan previously, and it got independence, and several war crimes were committed at the time of independence in 1971. Now Bangladesh government is taking steps to punish the people so as to bring justice to the victims. And Bangladesh Nationalist Party BNP says that they were politically motivated. And please don't forget, the ruling party is Awami League, led by Sheikh Hasina. India and European Union are expected to start negotiations with regard to BTIA early next year. Here, one point I would like to tell you: India and European Union Free Trade Pact is yet to take place. These BTIA, Broad-Based Trade and Investment Agreement, these talks are going on since 2007 or so, and these two are yet to come to the conclusion, and they are expected to start negotiations with regard to BTIA early next year. Landslide in Myanmar's Jade mine killed more than 100 people. You may ask, what is the Jade? Please look into this picture. These are jade stones. This industry runs into billions of dollars in Myanmar, and in one particular region of Myanmar, this digging the hills for jade stones is very common. The industry runs into billions of dollars, but unfortunately landslide occurred recently and more than 100 people killed in landslide. Car Free Day. Delhi will observe Car Free Day on 22nd January 2016. Previously, one stretch observed Car Free Day, but now Delhi government plans entire city to be observed as Car Free Day on 22nd January 2016. When the Prime Minister visited Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, recently he unveiled a 12-feet statue of Swami Vivekananda. Australian fast bowler Michelle Johnson has announced retirement from all forms of international cricket. Look into the next one. For the 6th consecutive time, Tianhe-2 China supercomputer has emerged as the world's most powerful supercomputer. Russia's new defense satellite TKS Cosmos 2510 was successfully launched into space. Madras High Court stayed the government order. All of you are well aware, recently the Registrar of Societies of Tamil Nadu cancelled the registration of Greenpeace. Greenpeace is a non-governmental organization basically fighting for better environment, and there were several allegations against Greenpeace that they violated norms under Foreign Contribution Regulation Act of 1976. Under these circumstances, Registrar of Societies Tamil Nadu cancelled the registration of Greenpeace India, but Madras High Court stayed the government order. Maldives, under international pressure, lifted 30 days of state emergency. Recently, Maldives imposed emergency. Vice President was impeached. Opposition leader was jailed. All is not well with Maldives. Under these circumstances, 30 days of state emergency was imposed in Maldives, but due to the international pressure, this 30-day state of emergency was lifted. And to explain the situation, Foreign Minister Dunya Mamoon visited India recently. Mines Minister Narendra Singh Tomar chaired the first meeting of governing body of National Mineral Exploration Trust. Government of India recently constituted National Mineral Exploration Trust, and its first meeting of the governing body was held recently. Recently, the Supreme Court stated a woman has an inalienable right over Stridhan. That means when the woman separated from her husband also, she has every right to claim the Stridhan as ruled by the Supreme Court. Non-executive chairman of Cipla, Yusuf Hamed, he is an eminent scientist. Recently, he was appointed to high-level panel on health, technology, innovation and access by United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon. Brussels, Belgium was recently, the entire city was shut down for around 4 to 5 days, and lot of searches were conducted in view of the terrorist attack in Paris. And please don't forget, NATO headquarters is Brussels, Belgium. Not only that, European Commission is also headquartered in Brussels, Belgium. November 16 was observed as the National Press Day. Asian Development Bank and Japan announced a 5-year $16 billion partnership, including an investment fund to support sustainable infrastructure development in the region. For infrastructure development, ADB and Japan committed $16 billion investment during the 5-year period, and ADB might have taken this step keeping in view the oncoming AIIB as well as NDB. NDB is coming up with Shanghai as the headquarters, AIIB is coming up with Beijing as the headquarters, and Japan must be worried about the future of ADB, and accordingly, ADB and Japan announced $16 billion partnership, including an investment fund to support sustainable infrastructure development in the region. Look into the next one. Neurosurgeon and Secretary General of Indian Red Cross Society, Dr. Satyapal Agarwal, passed away in New Delhi. United Nations General Assembly invited member states to observe International Day of Tolerance on 16th November. In fact, on the completion of 50th anniversary of UNESCO on 16th November 1995, UNESCO was established in 1945, and on completion of 50th anniversary on 16 November 1995, UNESCO's member states adopted a declaration of principles on tolerance, and from then onwards, the 16th November is being observed as International Day for Tolerance. World Toilet Day was observed on 19th November. The theme is Sanitation and Nutrition. There is an organization, World Toilet Organization. The headquarters is Singapore, please don't forget. Delhi will host the first international Qawwali festival, Tali Ho. This is to strengthen a notion that music is not restricted to any borders. CCEA, what is meant by CCEA, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, took a decision for 10% disinvestment in CIL, Coal India Limited. At present, Union government has got a stake of 79%, and government took a decision to disinvestment up to an extent of 10%. And at the same time, please don't forget, if government keeps 51% majority share and sells balance shares, that is known as disinvestment. Government gave approval for signing of the tripartite agreement on IBSA fund for the alleviation of poverty and hunger. This IBSA, IBSA means India, Brazil and South Africa. This IBSA fund was created in the year 2004 by these three countries, and now they signed tripartite agreement for alleviation of poverty and hunger. If someone says IBSA, IBSA, it is India, Brazil and South Africa for alleviation of poverty and hunger. And if someone says basic countries, what is basic? Basic is Brazil, South Africa, India, China. This grouping is to fight climate change. IBSA is for elimination of poverty and hunger. These things don't forget. The Prime Minister approved the setting up of National Resource Facility for Biomedical Research at Genome Valley in Hyderabad, and Union Government launched the Technology Acquisition and Development Fund TADF under National Manufacturing Policy of 2011, and this fund, that is the Technology Acquisition and Development Fund, will facilitate MSMEs to acquire green, clean and energy efficient technologies. Famous snooker player Pankaj Advani got his 15th world title when he won IBSF 2015 World Snooker Championship recently. Asian Development Bank pledged a loan of $120 million to finance cross-border electricity link between India and Bangladesh under South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation Program. Under South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation Program, $120 million was pledged by ADB to finance cross-border electricity. 10-day state of emergency was declared in Mali. All of you are well aware, Mali's capital Bamako, a hotel was attacked and several people were killed, and subsequent to it, 10-day state of emergency was declared in Mali. Former Chief Election Commissioner N. Gopalaswamy was nominated to head the expert committee exclusively for Sanskrit promotion. Union Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu inaugurated Silichar Lumding broad gauge railway line in Assam. This line took almost 20 years for conversion because of other problems which include insurgency problem, and finally broad gauge line came up to Lumding. So this Silichar Lumding broad gauge railway line, around 200 kilometers length, was commissioned recently by the Union Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu. Clean UP, Green UP program of Uttar Pradesh earned a place in the Guinness Book of World Records on November 7 when, under the government's initiative of Clean UP, Green UP program, 10 lakh plants were planted at 10 locations in 8 hours. In 8 hours at 10 locations, 10 lakh samplings were planted. This entered Guinness Book of World Record, and this is the initiative of Uttar Pradesh government. With this, let us conclude news at a glance. Please do join for other modules. Have a nice day. Thank you.